Hello everyone, myself Vrushneesha. Today, me and my friends Skanda, Srishti and Chinmayi are going to be talking about Swamy Vivekananda, whose original name was Narendra Datta. He was brought into the world by Sri Vishwanath Datta and Srimati Bhuvaneshwari Devi on 12th January 1863 in Calcutta. Narendra Datta was a Hindu spiritual leader and reformer in India who attempted to combine Indian spirituality with Western material. Now, my friend Skanda will tell you all more about Narendra Datta's biography and childhood.
Born to an upper middle class family of the Kayastha caste in Bengal, Narendranath was educated at a Western style university where he was exposed to Western philosophy, Christianity, and science. Social reform became a prominent element of Narendranath's thought, and he joined the Brahmo Samaj and was provoked in eliminating child marriage and illiteracy. He was determined to spread education among women and lower castes. He later became the most notable disciple of Ramakrishna, who demonstrated the essential unity of all religions. Always stressing the universal and humanistic side of the Vedas, as well as belief in service rather than dogma, Vivekananda attempted to infuse vigor into Hindu thought, placing less emphasis on the prevailing pacifism and presenting Hindu spirituality to the West. He was an activating force in the movement to promote Vedanta philosophy, which is one of the six schools of Indian philosophy in the United States and England. In 1893, he appeared in Chicago as a spokesman for Hinduism at World's Parliament of Regions and so captivated the assembly that a newspaper account described him as an orator by divine right and undoubtedly the greatest figure at the parliament. Thereafter, he lectured throughout the United States and England, making converts to the Vedanta movement. On his return to India with a small group of Western disciples in 1897, Vivekananda found the Ramakrishna mission at the monastery of Belur Mutt on the Ganga River near Kolkata. Self perfection and service were his ideals, and the order continued to stress them. He adapted and made relevant to the 20th century the very highest ideals of Vedantic religion, and although he lived only 2 years into that century, he left the mark of his personality on East and West alike.
Swami Vivekananda expressed and taught many life lessons through the quotes he wrote. Now I'm going to speak about that. The first famous quote, which all of you would have heard, is "Arise, awake, and don't stop until the goal is reached." Swami Vivekananda is mentioning to the world that, come what may, you should never give up. We know that life is filled with happiness and unhappiness. You will have to overcome many obstacles, but these obstacles are like small tests to us. So pass them and move on and reach your goal. Second one is, we are what our thoughts have made us. So take care about what you think. Words are secondary. Thoughts live and they travel far. This quote of Vivekananda says that we are made up of our own thoughts. The thoughts in our heart or brain reflect on our face. Thoughts have a very long life. You don't need to speak your brain out. Your face already says it. So let's all be careful before thinking about anything. One more of his quote is, truth can be stated in 1,000 different ways, yet each one can be true. Truth is multifaceted. Truth remains true from the point of view of the observer, but may be seemingly false from others' point of view. There is no black or white, but shades of grey are there of truth. Thus, we need not quarrel over each and every difference of opinion in life. Different opinions must coexist for the sake of free world. There is no absolute truth. It depends on the perspective of the perceiver or the viewer. Truth remains truth no matter how it is said and presented. Fourth one of his quote is, you have to grow from inside out. None can teach you. None can make you spiritual. There is no other teacher but your own soul. There is no other teacher but your own soul says that it means that our own soul teaches you how to lead life. No one else can either force you to make you who you are. You need to grow on your own. One more quote of his, which I am going to tell today, is do one thing at a time, and while doing it, put your whole soul into the exclusion of all else. This is one of his very famous quotes. He says that life is very short, but there are many things to do. If you try to do many things simultaneously, you will become jack of all but master of none. It means that you will have half knowledge of everything, but you will never perceive to be perfect. This is useless. So, concentrate on one thing at a time and put your soul until and unless you're perfect, says Swamy Vivekananda. Some other quotes, which I will not be explaining but just telling, are: you cannot believe in God until you believe in yourself. External nature is only internal nature, writ large. Swamy Vivekananda also travelled a lot during his journey of life. Now my friend Chinmayi will tell you more about his travels.
Now I am going to talk about a few of Swami Vivekananda's travels around the world as well as a few of his poems. In August 1888, Swami Vivekananda travelled to Varanasi and visited the places where Gautama Buddha and Adi Shankaracharya preached. He met Bengali writer Bhudev Mukhopadhyay and Hindu saint Trelingaswamy. He travelled to Ghazipur from Allahabad to meet with Pavhari Baba. Pavhari Baba was a Hindu ascetic and saint. He built an underground hermitage in his house where he used to practice meditation and yoga for days. He was noted for his humanity, politeness, and spirit of welfare. In October 1892, Swami Vivekananda travelled to Kanyakumari. There he meditated for 3 days and had a vision. He wrote, "At Cape Comorin, sitting in Mother Kumari's temple, sitting in the last bit of Indian rock, I hit upon a plan. We are so many sannyasis wandering about and teaching the people metaphysics. It is all madness. Did not our Gurudeva used to say, an empty stomach is no good for religion?" On 11th October 1893, Swami Vivekananda travelled to Chicago at the Parliament of Religions. Now I am going to talk about 3 of his poems. The first one, The Hymn of Creation, which is a translation of Nasadiya Sukta from Rigveda. It says, "It was all darkness in the beginning and we don't know how we came into the universe. Where we all came from is still a mystery that we can never know for sure." Second one, Kali the Mother, which was written on 24th September 1898 while he was staying in Kashmir. In this poem, Vivekananda is worshipping the terrible form of the goddess Kali. He shows the whole universe is a stage for the goddess's terrible and frenzied dance. Fourth one, To the Awakened India, which was written to Prabuddha Bharata in August 1898. He exhorts the world to dream truer dreams, which are eternal and love service free. The poet, in fact, addresses the motherland. Here he says, the mother that resides in all as power and life makes of one the world and shows one in all. On 4th July 1902, Swami Vivekananda took his last breath near Calcutta. A fact says that Swami Vivekananda always used to say Bhaiyo or Behno before starting any of his talks. He also promised that he will be there with India anytime. Now, if we compare, our PM Narendra Modi also says that before starting his talks. The rumor has it, Swami Vivekananda is back in the form of our Prime Minister giving India the best advice possible. Saying this, I would like to conclude our speech. Thank you all.